thieves. We should be trying to help them. But instead, we're on base running even more drills with the division and training.
I would not be so overly eager to find these other sick dragons,
he growled, the sound one of both displeasure and distress.
Not after what we had to do to the others to put them out of their misery.
Well, Raven shifted her gaze across the open training field in the direction of Dr. Welby's tent, which was mostly hidden by the curved outer wall of the massive tower. I guess that's probably the last thing we're waiting for before we can do anything else. I don't like the worst-case scenario any more than you do, Leander, but finding sick dragons and ending their suffering is the best option we have right now, for them and for any other dragons around them who might be exposed to...
Mage Albie.
Dr. Chewy Welby marched around the curve of the tower's exterior wall of black stone and stopped to wave one hand over his head. She caught his gaze and returned the gesture with much less enthusiasm than the vet displayed this evening.
Speaking of the dragon doctor,
the red dragon muttered. Whatever you were about to say about Welby, Raven said through the side of her mouth and lowered her voice. Let me remind you first that we were talking about the dragons and our mission to help as many of them as we can. We couldn't have done any of this without him, but beyond that, Leander, I don't want to hear another word. A soft, jerky hiss escaped the dragon's slightly parted lips.
You're getting nervous around him.
No, I'm not.
And you're blushing.
She cast him a condescending glance. At least I don't run away from him whenever he tries to talk to me. Oh, look, there's Grienna.
What?
Leander whipped his head up to search the sky, and he launched before she could tell him she'd been joking and was merely trying to make a point. His wing beats buffeted her red hair around her face, and a moment later he was high above the training field and darted in and out between other dragons who swooped, dove, and soared around him. A screech of greeting cut through the already busy noise of hundreds of legion dragons, and Grienna, Dr. Welby's large black female dragon, tucked her wings closer to her sides and raced after Leander. The mage couldn't help but laugh at that. He can tease me about Dr. Welby all he wants, but I was right too. I don't run away simply because being the center of someone else's attention makes me uncomfortable. Her smile faded instantly at that thought. No, I avoid the issue altogether and pretend like everything's okay.
Mage Albie!
Welby shouted again across the field and made her jump a little before she redirected her focus to where he stood a few yards away from the tower wall and waved her forward urgently.
A moment of your time, if I may.
Raven nodded and hurried toward him. In the sky, Leander darted over her again, but it seemed that at some point Grienna had given up her pursuit of the big red male, whose actions still made it clear that he wanted nothing to do with her. Acutely aware that all the other legionaries of both her star division and the other 7 cohorts of the Airborne Legion had left for dinner in the outdoor mess hall, she cleared her throat and increased her pace toward Welby to see what he wanted from her. I hope he has good news this time. I know he's working hard on a cure for weeping disease, but we've already lost way too much time waiting for one. We burn the black fungus, but there's no way there aren't more sick dragons out there who need our help. When she reached the front of his large canvas tent that served as both his home and his private office on the base, the tall, broad-shouldered man already stood at the front, with the entrance flap pulled aside. His smile widened, and he nodded toward the interior of the tent.
Come on in.
Her face flushed hotly, and she had no doubt that her blush was horribly apparent. He's never asked me to come inside with him before. This is where he lives. It's a little private. You can show me out here, she muttered. I'll wait.
In that case, I'm afraid you'll wait for quite some time.
Welby shrugged.
I can't very well disassemble my entire laboratory to show you what I found.
Right. She cleared her throat. Your laboratory.
Trust me, Mage Albie. This is something you want to see for yourself.
You know I'm not an apothecary mage, right?
He chuckled. But you are the only other person who's seen the black fungus, and I would very much appreciate an extra pair of eyes to hopefully confirm my findings.